Okay, so not everybody's going to have one of these cool little gadgets that I've got here. This is obviously something that I have in my studio. But don't worry, you can create something very similar and just as effective with some dining chairs. So especially if you've got those high back, straight back dining chairs, they're perfect for this job. So what you do is you're going to line your chairs up, 3 of them, with the seats facing the wall and the backs facing out of the room. And then what you're going to do, nice and simple, you're going to take a blanket or a sheet that you like, and then you're just going to chuck it over, spread it out so it's nice and smooth, and then maybe with some pegs. I've got clamps, but if you just want to use pegs you can do that, and you're just going to clip it on the back of the chairs along there just to hold it all in place. And look at that, job's a good one. You've got yourselves a nice backdrop. Now just straighten it out at the bottom just to make sure it's all as crease-free as possible. There you go, easy peasy. So, taking this photo is really easy. All it is a case of getting your child nice and settled in position. It's a really straightforward position. So you're going to have them so that they're facing the window, scoot forward so that their bottom is nearly in the middle of the backdrop, bend their knees so that their feet are nice and tucked up. All the kids can do this one. And then you're going to bring baby in. So still with the swaddle wrap that we've already talked about before, and you're just going to place your child's arms on their knees, and you're just going to pop baby's head in there, and their hand can just hold the back of baby's head, and you'll see that the baby is nice and comfortable. The child has got the baby well supported. They've got their knees supporting the weight of the baby, so there's no worry about them getting tired. And then they look at the baby, just simple like this, and you take the photo from there, and you've got a beautiful picture. If your child is flexible enough, then they could actually bend forward, and you could do a little nose to nose, head to head picture. Or you could get them to turn the baby a little bit this way. But all depends on how old your child is. At the younger end of the scale, they're probably not going to do much more than have the baby there. And again, as I've always said before, have a spotter to hand. So get somebody else to position the baby and to be there ready to grab baby if needed. But the idea of all of this is that the baby's well supported at all times. There should be very little chance of any babies being dropped here. This one you will need to make sure that baby's feet are tucked up, because there probably won't be enough room for baby's legs otherwise. But it's quite straightforward once you get there, and that swaddle helps things a lot. So there you go, a nice simple pretty picture of your children together. Really easy. Send it to me and I'll make sure the backdrop looks really nice. The picture itself should be quite head and shoulders-y. We're not going to have much flooring because it's just excess that we don't need. So don't worry about your carpet, and take the photograph from pretty much on eye level with your child, so that they're looking straight across at the camera, so you're not looking down at the floor. So nice level picture. You shoot from there, shoot this way, and away we go. Beautiful. You could, if you wanted to try something different, if you've got a child who's a little bit older, maybe a little bit more like a teenager, then you could do something similar to this, where they can get their legs comfortable as long as they've got a good hold of the baby. And another nice picture is them to lift the baby up here so they can do a cheek to cheek. But this is really only suitable when you've got children who are at least 10 years old, I would have said. Anything younger, they're just not going to be able to hold the baby long enough or securely enough. But if you've got one who's coming up to a tweenager, they can probably do this one quite comfortably. It's just a case of holding the baby's head in the bottom. You can place the baby in their hands just how you want them. And again, just a little close-up picture, looking at the camera, kissing baby's head, close eyes, done.